Well, here we go. It's another day with Anki Overdrive. We start in the bedroom, some extra track, double crossovers, double loops, banked, out into the garden with some super chicanes and a massive long straight. And then we head into some nighttime play with the lights down and the cars illuminated. As you can see, racing around this track at great speed. We've got a whole bunch of more Anki Overdrive track and corner kits and collision kits and speed kits and elevation kits and bank turns to complement the nice setup we always had.
And also rail kit.
And rail kit as well. So, are you guys ready to do some Anki Overdrive?
Yeah.
What's the best thing about it so far?
I love my car. My car is the best one. I can take them out. Turns out I keep winning with my car.
We've got a nice collection of cars here.
Ground Chalk is my favourite. He's mine.
People will be getting this
Ground
themselves quite soon. We'd love to see the courses that you've made.
When we
first got this, I thought it was just this, but there's all these rails and different like speed kits, collision kits, and lots of different ones.
So here is our track, looping round up onto the bed, down onto the table, round the corner. We've got some rails there on the edge to stop some of the cars coming off, and also it helps to tighten and tense the track so it doesn't get too floppy on that corner section. A double interchange there, you've got to be careful of that. Up here is a great place to take down your opponent, because of course on the hill they can just get up there. Key to getting this track working was getting that angle on the hill absolutely right. So as we get ready to kick off on our race around our super bedroom track, you can have a look at how we've designed it. This first corner is where you need to get the speed down. Now you need to be careful as you come off this banked curve down that track, because as you can see, plenty of competition, and the green car just got nudged off. All it takes is a quick nudge in the back, and at those interchanges you really can take an advantage. So getting in line with your opponent and hitting a boost, great way to do that. Now around up here on the bank, I think we can see a takedown. Now yes, the blue car was taken down by green, and that is a great point to knock your opponent out, and they have a lot of time wasted getting their car back on track. Just missed there at the interchange. As we look down from above and swoop over the bed down that banked curve, you can see these cars really fishtailing around as the rear wheels struggle for grip. Another close miss there, and it looks like blue is going to be keeping the lead for a little while. Got some distance between him and his opponent, and the boys are really using a bunch of different weapons. Now the track beam is really good on that steep slope, because obviously you take away some momentum from your opponent and they're not even going to get up there. We've got this curve over the table, and if you hit it right, you can really then power down over that back straight and then up here under the table. Without looking, you can see how they're struggling up that hill. You've got to keep the momentum on, you've got to keep the throttle on full power. And we just come towards the end of this session, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty close thing to see who's winning. Blue is still keeping that lead, and is coming down close to the finishing straight, and yes, takes it. So a nice win there for blue. Now we're going to switch over to a battle mode now, so you'll see the tactics here are quite different, as players not only try and stay away from their opponent, but also at times really slam on the brakes to try and get behind. You see blue's doing this here, and now he's lined up. Oh look, he's completely managed to get green off that interchange, so takes the lead. But of course this is all about kills, and green is behind, so can take down. Oh, it looks like there's a mine has been deployed that took out that green car behind, and so blue can again put some space between him and his opponent. So there's some real cat and mouse tactics going on here, and I like that. I like the way the different modes of the game really mean that you have to race this differently, and it means that the track we've made here comes into its own in different ways. When you're playing a race, it's all about getting the throttle down, getting away from your opponent, but of course here you're scoring points in battle mode, wanting to hit your opponent the most, and you can see there's a lot of tactics here. Blue's trying to get behind, but green doesn't want that either. So it looks like we're going to be seeing this battle continue for some time, as again blue is slowing right down, wanting to get green to overtake, to be behind so he can get his weapons on. Equally, green is aware of his tactic, and you can see the boys using their iPads to control both the lanes and the speed. Tom there's got his thumb on the speed trigger, pulling out some weapons. That pulsar cannon is a favourite of his, and again it's about, whoa, nearly getting him, getting those shots in a timely fashion. And sometimes you want to stop, get behind your opponent, but equally sometimes you just want to blast around the track and come up behind them like that. So as we close out our battle and they carry on racing around, we're going to leave them as we move on to the garden. We have got an absolute ton of straight tracks, and although our house is relatively big and some of these setups are nice up and down on furniture, in the garden and outside is where you can really let loose and have a massive long straight. So you can see here we have got this super long back straight, but that moves into a chicane section to test out the car's cornering, and we found that different vehicles perform differently. Some of them seem to get their speed up much quicker, their traction down that long straight, and equally some of them, I think we see a couple come off as they try and get around this chicane. Now the conditions here were changing as we raced. Obviously playing outside you have different temperatures, but also different atmospheric weather conditions that do change the traction on the track. You see there, we're fishtailing through that chicane, and as we carried on playing in the garden, we were in the evening and we found a dew fell on the track, which again gave it a sort of a misty complexion and changed how much grip these cars could get, and some of them really struggling. I like how they work to get up this slope here. You can see their front wheels coming off the track, getting their speed as they come down before they prepare to take that corner and head back into the chicane. So I think outside is a really nice way to enjoy Anki Overdrive, and of course because the power is all in the cars, as we said previously, if it does rain it means you can just grab the cars and then leave the track out, come back, wipe the track down as we've done, and you're ready to go again. I think that's a nice addition and certainly a benefit over some of the competitors like RearFX and Scalextrics, which wouldn't put up with this treatment. But of course, finally, as night falls, we move into our nighttime racing back in the bedroom. The same course as we had previously, but of course, completely different feel because it is dark. Now, this not only changes how it looks, and there's a real nice sort of super sci-fi feel to the cars going around with their light ups, and you can see all their weapons, but equally, the tactics and keeping track of the cars, you need to pay much greater attention in the dark. So you can see here, up onto the bed, around our loop section, and then we'll be heading back down onto the table. Tom illuminated as he's playing with that iPad controller, and I really like the way the cars look. In the night time, you can also see much clearer when your opponents are shooting you, which again triggers that change of lane to get out of their way, or perhaps slamming a brake on to get behind them. And certainly the atmosphere and the feel of the game as you play in the dark is really nice. So there you go, that's our look at Anki Overdrive in the morning as we opened some new track, designed our circuit and took it out to the garden to see how it would perform out there, and then back in the evening as night fell, playing it in the dark. As you can see, it looks really nice. But we want to hear what you're doing with Anki Overdrive. What sort of circuits are you making? What tips have you got to get things working like we have here? Getting the angle right on this hill for us took a while. Using some rails to tense the track was a big help there, and again having rails on the corners and the bank tracks again added a lot to it. Now let us know in the comments what your favourite cars are, what your favourite tracks. We'll be in there answering and commenting just as soon as this video goes live.